Hello everybody, it's been a while since I've done one of these vlogs, so I thought it was about time I jumped back on to discuss the weekend's events. This time around I'm talking about Terence "Bud" Crawford and why he is the numero uno in the welterweight division, #1. I just can't see anybody in that division beating him, Errol Spence included, and I'll tell you exactly why if you stick with me for the next couple of minutes. So, what a performance against David Avanesyan. What I would say about Avanesyan is he is a fringe world titleist. He's what you would consider a very, very, very good boxer, but not quite that peak A-star level fighter that guys like Crawford and Spence can be considered. He's had some great results recently. He's coming off the back of a nice streak of wins and all good wins at that. But coincidentally, he just happened to bump into another man who was doing the same thing on a great knockout streak in the welterweight division, and that is Terence Crawford. What can I say about the knockout? I think he was controlling the fight up until then, and the knockout was exceptionally well delivered from a nice, simple change of position into a beautiful hook that was just perfectly placed. And this is something that people don't tend to notice when they watch Crawford, and that's the nuance of his footwork, the fine detail of his movements, how the smallest, the most fractional change can set up a beautiful counter punch, a punch that can be thrown in the middle of a combination, the opponent in the midst of throwing, and then whoop, next thing you know, he's asleep. I mean, that is a knockout of the year contender. Crawford looking incredibly dangerous at welterweight. It's my opinion this is the best he's ever looked. I think he's got better and better as he's gone through the weight classes, and I think welterweight is definitely his division. He has a set of skills that you don't see often in boxing. He's a vicious fighter, but he's also very patient. He's composed and controlled. He manages distance incredibly well with his jab, with his lead hand, with those kind of nuanced footwork techniques that he uses, those small movements, those fractional little steps. He creates angles well. He simultaneously punches as his opponent's punch, which is a devastating skill if you know how to utilize it at the right time. Everything he does with intent. It's done deliberately. He doesn't waste a lot of energy. He doesn't waste a lot of movement. Everything he's doing is very efficient. He has power. I mean, I wouldn't consider him one of the greatest punchers of all time, but you know, you don't knock out a guy like David Avanesyan in that fashion if you haven't got good punch power. You don't knock out the names in the welterweight division that he has knocked out if you haven't got good punch power. He's the kind of puncher that hurts you every time. Not necessarily enough to stop you, but every time he lands clean, you think, whoa. I think that's kind of what happened with Sean Porter for me. That's what I think happened in the Sean Porter fight. He just felt too many shots. With regards to Crawford's future, as I said, for me, he's #1. There's only really 3 real challenges at that weight. And the first of which would be Errol Spence, and that's the only one we really want to see. And then you've got the 2 up-and-comers, Jaron Boots Ennis and Virgil Ortiz Jr. Either fight would be exciting. I think it's probably a little bit too early for Ortiz. A couple more fights for him at that kind of world level. And I think that the clash of styles with Boots and Crawford would be very, very interesting. A real kind of chess match of boxing. Both have quite enigmatic styles. Both very, very stylish in the manner in which they box. But I think Crawford just has a little bit more killer about him, a little bit more aggression. And the skill that I put of Crawford's above all others is his adaptability. You will not see a fighter who can change technique, change style, change mannerisms in the middle of a round in the manner that he can. It is just exceptional to watch. It's very, very exciting to watch for a purist like me. And I absolutely love watching him. I think he's a very exciting fighter. And the fine detail of what he does is just great. Absolutely brilliant to watch. What do I think happens if he boxes Spence? As time goes on, I think it becomes a more and more comfortable win for Crawford. I think if the fight happened a couple of years back, perhaps Spence would have been in with a better chance. But I think I think Crawford is the better overall fighter. I think his adaptability will see him come through the fight and get more and more successful as the fight progresses. And I think there is a chance he may even get a late stoppage or just win on a clear points decision. So I thought I'd give that a mention, as it's always worth mentioning since the details around that change so often that we never know whether it's going to happen or not. Manny Pacquiao talks about coming out of retirement, would love to fight Crawford or Spence. I think Crawford destroys him at this stage of Pacquiao's career. Talks of him moving up to light middle to fight the Charlo brother that is there. I can't remember which of the two it is. I don't want to see that fight. I don't have any interest in that fight at present. Do I think Crawford could have success there? Yes. Perhaps the sooner he does it, the better it is for him. But I'd like to see him and Spence more. There isn't a fight in boxing for me that will draw more excitement from purist boxing fans than Spence and Crawford. So there we have it, guys. Those are my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, check out all the rest of my videos, and I've got a few more of these kind of vlogs coming over the coming weeks. Over the coming weeks, and hopefully you stick with those and watch them as well. Have a wicked day, everybody. Cheers.